Man, that intro music, that Wayne just goes hard, doesn't it?
It does, man. It really does.
Dude, I'd rather have that as our intro music instead of the CBS music, honestly.
I don't know, man. The CBS one hits pretty good too, though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? All 5 people. Nice. Joining us here. This is week 8 of the Week 0 podcast. There you go. I am your host today, Connor. It's always sunny in Philly. Doherty, I can explain why that I have that as my name in a bit. To my left is my fellow co-host, Andrew, Braves World Champs, Coster.
Yes, sir.
Stay up and watch that game. That was a great. And the man making the grimace down below is Ryan. Vaughn is a Bronco for life, Favreau. Where's the candle? Like, why don't you by candlelight, praying like?
Oh, I got something better.
Like praying. Yes. he's gonna cry himself. He's just gonna cry himself. Did you cry yourself to sleep last night, Ryan, or whenever the news broke?
No, I actually I mentally prepared myself for this move when I seen the rumors about it a couple days ago. So
yeah, you kind of knew that was going to happen potentially. There's been rumors. Lucas, a 4th member, is not here because he has things that he thinks are much more important than this to do.
Yeah, like making money is more important than us.
Please, that's not important at all. We can all live without money. No, not really.
No, the boys come first before anything.
Exactly. Boys come before money or whatever.
Bros before doughs.
There you go.
Bros before dough.
So I think we can just start off with obviously probably the biggest news, at least in the college football world, is the first playoff ranking came out last night on Tuesday, and Ryan has disappeared all of a sudden. And it's perfect. Awesome. So I thought we would go through and give our reactions to this. Actually, let me remove that so we can just see that Fresno State down there. So I think, why don't we go through from 25? Let's go through, I guess, 25 through 20. Just give our reactions to that. And then we can just go through groups of 5 or 6 at a time. So let's go with Ryan. What were your thoughts in the initial rankings, at least at the bottom there?
The fact that Pittsburgh is still ranked actually kind of shocked me. Maybe they're still trying to keep the ACC a little bit alive for Wake Forest. But, I mean, their 2 losses this season coming against Western Michigan, who is god-awful, and a Miami team that honestly had no pulse until the last 2 weeks out of nowhere, thanks to that freshman QB Van Dyke.
Van Dyke is goated.
Yeah, but still, I don't think Pitt deserves to be ranked. Honestly, I don't have an issue other than Pittsburgh being ranked. I could say that Iowa shouldn't be ranked, but I guess you couldn't really drop them when they were literally, what was it, 3 or 4 not that long ago.
They were 2, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, so.
But I do love seeing Wisconsin there on Wisconsin. I don't know if our boy Luke is watching, but they have definitely turned their season around after getting destroyed by Notre Dame. But
yeah, I think that was the biggest surprise, and that's something, if you look at this through this ranking, something that is very consistent is the head-to-head. The committee's really making that as their biggest priority for rankings. So I'm guessing their thinking was, if we rank Iowa, why don't we have Wisconsin there? Now, I don't have any problem with having Wisconsin there with 3 losses. But we can there's another team a little higher up that has 3 losses that I think is a little too high ranked for my liking, but we can talk about that.
State?
Yeah, Mississippi State, because
I agree 100%.
But at the same time, that's the same thing that they're doing. They beat Kentucky, who they do have there at 18 right there. So they're like, well, they beat them, so we're going to rank them at 17. But I don't know what to think. I think that I saw something. That's the highest 3-loss ranked team in the college football playoff era so far.
Well, Connor, here's another thing I will say about the Mississippi State team. You have to compare against Kentucky. And it's the fact that Kentucky really doesn't have a signature win right at the moment compared to, like, Mississippi State's now got 2 against Kentucky and Texas A&M. That's the only reason I think why you can
Texas A&M.
That's the only reason why you can probably put them that high. And that's why I'm not really too mad about that one.
Mhm.
I can't really get too upset about that.
Yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot about that because honestly, ever since Texas A&M beat Alabama, I completely forgot that they had lost to Mississippi State. Because when that game happened early in the season, we were like, oh, Texas A&M is, back to being old Texas A&M, where they're gonna get all the hype at the beginning of the season and just fall off a cliff midway through. And then you obviously got Minnesota in there at 2 or at 20. I like the fact that they have 3 straight teams from the Big Ten West. There, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. I think that's showing how, and then obviously you have, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State further up, but that shows how probably the Big Ten, at least is probably one of the most top heavy conferences in the country right now. With regards to that. Now, I don't know whether any of these teams can challenge those teams at the top for a conference championship, but I do like seeing Minnesota there. And then obviously North Carolina State at 19. I'm not sure. Other than Clemson, I can't think of any other teams that they've really beaten. So I think they're just riding kind of that especially with Clemson now kind of figuring themselves out.
I'm telling you right now, if they play that game in Clemson, they don't win. I'm telling you right now, if they could barely beat us in double overtime at their place, they're not winning in Death Valley.
When your offense was god awful, when your offense was still
our offense is finally starting. I think starting to get it together. I mean,
it's against a Florida State defense that gave Jack Cohn 50-something points.
Okay, so we gave up less points though than Notre Dame did. So quiet peasants.
Yeah, and then you see it, and then so then obviously 16 up, you have Mississippi, you have Ole Miss at 16, BYU at 15, Texas A&M 14, Auburn 13, Auburn Texas A&M play this weekend at Texas A&M. That's gonna be a good game.
Oh yeah.
And then you got Baylor at 12, and this is the other thing and this is again going back to the head-to-head. Baylor ahead of BYU, beating BYU at home. Yep. I was kind of surprised. Oh, there's Lucas. he's reaching out to us from beyond. I was surprised to see BYU ranked that high, though. But I think
I agree.
Because I think we had all said before last week. I think we had all didn't we all take UVA in that game?
Yes, we did.
And I think if Brennan Armstrong doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
there's a chance they still win that game.
But I think I had said I don't trust BYU anymore, and Lucas agreed with me at that point. I still don't trust BYU. I don't fully trust them, but they are playing. I wonder how hard their strength of schedule is. They probably one of the hardest schedules in the country, I would say, right?
BYU's is actually it's pretty good. I mean, they still have good wins against Utah. Arizona State's still decent. Utah State's 6-2, so that's a pretty good win.
So
and then but yeah, the Boise State one hurts, and then obviously
the Boise State hurts. If the only loss they had was to Baylor, I'd be a lot more comfortable with them. But losing to Boise State, who's 4-4, not god awful, but mediocre, honestly, is hurting BYU.
The thing is, for BYU, the rest of their schedule is a joke. I mean, so this week they host Idaho State, and then they go to Georgia Southern, who, by the way, just recently hired Clay Helton, and then they go to Clay Helton's former school at USC.
They play USC to close the
Georgia
season?
Southern, USC back to back.
Wow, that's kind of funny. They're doing the Clay Helton show, but backwards.
Yeah, the Clay Helton show.
The Clay Helton experience. From where he was to where he where he is to where he was.
There's something I also want to go back and say about for a 25 through thing. This whole thing was San Diego State at 24. I don't like.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say that.
I would rather have them swapped out with either SMU or Houston. I think they did the American dirty.
Let me ask you guys
You're doing
this.
the group of 5 dirty because the AP poll, 16 through 25 are all group of 5 teams on the AP poll.
But yeah, I just think especially though the American. I mean, because this is really hurts. Like it doesn't make any sense. I mean, no offense to San Diego State, like they just have not looked good, in my opinion. I don't know, but I just would have rather play SMU or Houston.
Let me ask you guys this question because I completely missed that. Okay, Fresno State, maybe top 25. They've looked really inconsistent. San Diego State has looked. They're like almost like the Oklahoma version of a Mountain West. They're literally a Mountain West version of Oklahoma, where they look like they're not very
Why is
good.
your Discord starting?
What the heck? Oh God, that's awkward.
But I mean, like, if honestly, if I could get your guys' opinion on this, do you think the MAC, or not the MAC, the Mountain West or the American is better as a conference?
The American or the Mountain West?
Yes.
Well, the American is Cincy, but beyond, but
yeah,
Houston and SMU.
Houston and SMU.
That's actually a good debate.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going back to. Remember what I said earlier? Like, there's like the tier of the group of five, so it's like the Mountain West and the American and everyone else. This is what I was referring to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, man. I think that like overall, like average team wise, I think the Mountain West is better. But if I were to do like the top 3 teams from the Mountain West and the American, I would probably go to the American a little bit. I lean a little bit towards the American.
Do you think that Boise State's like success in the past 10 so years is still stuck in the committee? I know they're not supposed to kind of keep the former stuff in their head, but the Mountain West being usually, the top group of 5 conference, do you think that played into these rankings?
No.
Where instead you have Fresno State and San Diego State over at Houston or SMU?
No, I really don't. I mean, Boise State's still a good team. I mean, they almost beat Oklahoma State. They could like I said, they could easily be have like 1 or 2 losses. I mean, if they were to play UCF again, I know they would easily beat them, I think. But I mean, that's just how college football is. I think they're still a good football team. I mean, I think their record is deceiving, but I don't think that them beating Boise State necessarily. But I mean, San Diego State did also beat Air Force, who is 6-2. I don't know if Fresno State has played them yet, but I don't think that
right. Air Force is in the Mountain West, right?
They're
not the only team now that of the military is Army that's still independent.
That is correct.
I forgot about that. That's a good point. I completely forgot. That might actually be, top to bottom, at least the top 4 or 5 teams collectively in the Mountain West might be better than the American. But has Oklahoma State and Baylor played yet, or are they?
Yeah, they have. Yes,
they did. Oklahoma State won.
So Oklahoma State won, so that's why they're headed Baylor. So that's again a consistency. Now I think we need to move on to the top 10 because that's the biggest. That was the biggest group of surprises. I remember watching the broadcast and Notre Dame at 10. Obviously, Ryan, we'll let you get into that in a little bit. I was a little surprised. I will admit, I was surprised to see them there. I honestly would have thought Wake might have been 10, maybe even 11. Just Wake has not played anybody. I think Wake has the 98th strength of schedule in the country, so they have not played anyone good. But the biggest gasp, other than Alabama at 2, was Oklahoma all the way down at 8, being I think the committee has shown a willingness, at least with that. I can't remember who said it, that you're allowed to stumble or be shaky against a team or once, or maybe at least once, but to consistently do it throughout the season, you're going to get punished for that, even if you're undefeated. And that's why Oklahoma's all the way down there at 8, below, what is that? 3 one-loss teams in Alabama, Ohio State, and Michigan. So, I guess we can just go from there.
It's 4 one-loss teams.
Oregon, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's what I'm going to say to this. I like it.
I like it too.
I did surprised. I was actually going to like this because usually I have always something to complain about with the committee. This is so weird. They actually got it really spot on. I really can't. If anything, I would flip Ohio State and Cincinnati. But quite frankly, they did a good job. I mean, Cincinnati, I feel they still got a little hose, but I knew it coming in. We knew it coming in. That's just they're not going to respect them, and the fact that no SMU, no Houston really hurts them. And I think putting Oklahoma at 8, I mean, they're just saying where everyone else has thought Oklahoma all year. they're overrated. You know, I mean, that just really shows what they think of Oklahoma, and I think that's very well deserved. Oklahoma, you need to start winning your games. Yeah, I guess they beat Texas Tech, but like Texas Tech's what, like 5-4.
Even if Oklahoma goes undefeated and wins the conference, do you think they would make it over like a one-loss Oregon if they were to win the Pac-12?
Depends on if they start blowing teams out.
This is why, because Oregon doesn't have any ranked teams left on the schedule right now. Oklahoma has Baylor, Oklahoma State left on the schedule, and then
that's a good point. That's true. So they're allowed to struggle in that because those are ranked teams, but if they still win those are good wins.
That's literally their schedule is very backloaded. That's what they were talking about on the broadcast last night.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: Oklahoma needs to not lose, or if I would still say though, if I'm Oklahoma, you need to start winning more with some style points. I mean,
they were also talking about how
wins.
On the broadcast, they were saying style points wasn't as important, it seemed, but the head-to-head was a little. That's why Oklahoma was being punished.
It clearly is a little bit. That's why Oklahoma's at 8.
Yeah, but it's not as big as the head-to-head. That's why Notre Dame is Cincinnati's above Notre Dame. That's why Oregon is above Ohio State. Michigan stays above Michigan, and so on and so forth. Now Alabama at 2. I was surprised. I got the second biggest shock out of everybody, but
yeah.
Someone also said on the broadcast it will work itself out. There's 3 options, especially with Alabama. Either they win out and then lose to Georgia and then don't make the playoffs because they'll have 2 losses. Yep. They lose a game before that and playing the SEC. Probably not, but somehow that does happen. They don't make it, or they win out and beat Georgia and then make the playoff.
Well, at that point, both 2 SEC teams will finish in the top 4.
Yeah, that's the only way that'll happen. If Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship game and gives Alabama 2 losses, they're not going to make it. Georgia.
It's like I've said earlier. Remember when I said after that loss to Texas A&M that whoever was left on Alabama's regular season schedule, good luck. Exactly. It goes back to that. I mean, look, number 17, Mississippi State. Alabama beat them 49-9. This just goes back to that. And they ended up blowing out a pretty dang good Tennessee team. Yeah, they're 4-4, but I think they're better than.
That was a close game. That was a close game until 12 minutes in the 4th.
Yeah, and then they just blew it open. But that's the point being is like they've looked better, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's where I've been really impressed with Alabama. And since like that loss to A&M, they've looked a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. And also, this is something that the Bear pointed out in college and the playoff show last night. There's only 2 teams in the top 4 that are top 10 in offensive and defensive efficiency, and both of those are Georgia and Alabama. And I think that's
Georgia's offense is that good.
Top 10 offensive efficiency.
Oh, efficiency.
Like not turning the ball over.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and that's important. And so the fact that both of those teams are in that category, and like I think that also shows Alabama's defense. Yeah, they've given up points at times, but they're still overall pretty good.
But I will say this because this is my 2 points of the top 10 last night. Notre Dame at 10, whatever. You're gonna put Wake Forest ahead of us. That's whatever. Even though they haven't played anybody, I'd still put Notre Dame at 9.
Of course you would, buddy.
No, that's not even just me saying that. Just because of strength of schedule. If you want to go strength of schedule with Cincinnati and say, well, they haven't beaten anybody, okay, they may have the best win of anybody outside of Oregon and Ohio State in the top 4. I mean, Oregon and Michigan State in the top 4. So if you want to go off that, then I feel like you got to be fair to Cincinnati, because what it seems like now is they're picking what they want to use to rank some teams. But then when it comes to Cincinnati, it's like, oh, you have the 3rd best win of anybody in the top 10, but we don't care. We literally don't care.
Well, I think that's shown in the fact they're trying to no SMU or Houston, which seems the committee's trying to make it as hard as possible for Cincinnati to make it as possible.
But I will say this. Here's a big thing for us or for Cincinnati. Yeah, the SMU losing might have hurt, but now you have the chance now to play the 2 best teams left in your conference. You get to play SMU in the regular season, and then you get to play Houston in the conference championship game. That is huge. That will give a chance to boost your schedule a little bit more.
If both keep winning, they probably could make it in that back half of the top 25 if Pitt loses again or any of those teams.
They'd probably need Fresno State, San Diego State, Pitt, maybe Iowa, and Minnesota to lose another game. Probably.
Well, I think if anyone in the top 15, I'd say 15 through 25, if they lose, if they have another loss between now and in the next couple weeks, they could drop out 100%. Potentially.
But to be honest,
I feel like if BYU suffers another loss, that would just drop straight out.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what happens.
But what I was like I'm saying, it's just like, to me, if Cincinnati was a Power 5 team, say you switch Cincinnati and you put you literally switch the names, put Ohio State and Cincinnati's shoes, have them play the schedule that Cincinnati's played. Okay. Have them go on the road and beat a number 10 Notre Dame team. I mean, 11 points is a convincing win, right? Okay. You go on the road and you beat a top 10 team. If Cincinnati's name is Ohio State, it doesn't matter. They're in the top 4. That's where I think it's messed up, because just because their name is Cincinnati and they have the group of 5 label stamped next to their name, that's why they're number 6. I think that's disrespectful. And my top 4, do I think Cincinnati's better than Michigan State, Alabama, or Georgia right now? No. Do I think they're better than Oregon or Ohio State? Maybe. But if you're going to drop them from 2, which was what they are in the AP poll, that's fine. They still deserve to be number 4. If you ask me right now, Oregon has not played very well since
Oregon probably outside of Pittsburgh losing to Western Michigan, they probably have the worst loss of anyone in the entire top 25.
Exactly. And so if I'm gonna switch this around, I would put Cincinnati at 4. And if the committee would have done that,
would you still keep Oregon?
Yes, Oregon and Ohio State. Yes, literally just switch that, and I would have been completely fine with this top 25. But when you're punishing a team for literally going out of conference, going on the road to play a Notre Dame team that may not be the best Notre Dame team in the past 5 years, but they're still a top 10 team, and you're going to put Notre Dame at 10. You got to give Cincinnati that credit. It looks like to me they're not giving Cincinnati that credit, and they're punishing them for their name being Cincinnati. And that's wrong to me. That is literally the most disrespectful thing this committee has done.
I do want to say something that really hurts.
That's what someone was saying during that. I can't remember who was saying that, but someone said that.
Yeah, I think it was Heather, whatever her name is.
It was Galloway, too. Galloway.
I will say the one thing that's really hurt Cincinnati this year, Indiana being 2-6. Indiana looked so good last year, and then coming into the season ranked.
Oh, yeah.
And then they go on and schedule what we all thought was probably going to be a good Indiana team. I thought they were going to be better than this. I'm very disappointed. Indiana is probably one of the most disappointing teams for me outside of Clemson. The fact that they are 2-6, it's going. Ryan, this is where I do see what you're saying with strike schedule. You can't help the teams just fall off, but unfortunately, that's just how it goes. You can't help. You can't help it, but unfortunately, that's just how it is, and they have.
Do you think Oregon's? Do you think Oregon's? Because I don't think Oregon is a top 4 team. Honestly, right now, I do not.
I think they have the weakest offense of anyone.
I will say,
if you look at Oregon,
I will say this: but if you go back 3 weeks ago, I'd say no. The last 2 weeks, they've started to pick it up again. They're starting to look like the day earlier in the year, in my opinion.
But I'm saying if you look at, because this is my issue with strength of schedule as well, you get a boost in strength of schedule just for being in a Power 5 conference. I mean, Oregon, look at their schedule. What, outside of Ohio State, UCLA, maybe their best wins, and then they lost to a Stanford
and the other problem is there's no other ranked Pac-12 team. So
I would say probably Notre Dame. I don't even know who they're.
They haven't played anyone good other than Ohio State. So that's.
I mean, if you want to put Cincinnati and you want to put Oregon strength of schedule, compare it. What? UCLA.
Lucas is calling us a hater.
I mean,
I'm not.
No, it's not. UCLA. I'm giving Oregon credit. They beat Ohio State. Ohio State's not a top 4 team either. But if you're going to put the two teams side by side, you look at who Oregon has played and you look at who Cincinnati's played. What?
Lucas Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Notre Dame, Ohio
State. Fresno State.
Okay. Anyway, Lucas, You put Oregon and you put Cincinnati and Oregon next to each other. What, Notre Dame, Ohio State, both games on the road against top 10 teams, they both won by double digits. That, to me, cancels each other out, okay? You look at who else they played. UCLA may be better than anybody else Cincinnati has played, okay? Fair enough. That's why you put –
That's probably not a maybe. That's a definite, honestly.
Okay, but then if you look at SMU
and then they've also beat Fresno State. That's another thing you got to forget. They don't just have one better win. They have two better wins in the next one.
But we could say SMU, and if we put SMU and Fresno State on the field and we put Houston, I mean, if that's all subjective, who you think's better? I would rather have Fresno State. Their other loss is not very good. I'd rather have Houston and SMU ranked than Fresno State, who's got 2 losses.
No.
I think I saw something that also Fresno State, that's the highest ranked 2-loss group of 5 team already in the Pac-12, or at least in the initial playoff rankings. So being at 23,
I just think that shows the respect they have for Fresno State, and I agree with that.
Well, I think they're also being like, well, they only barely lost to Oregon. And everyone was like, oh, we thought that was a struggle bus for Oregon in that game. And then they go and beat Ohio State. And then Fresno State goes and is 7-2.
Yeah, and they won at UCLA.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's probably why. But at the same time, like, I don't know what to I don't know. I still would want to see an SMU or Houston there, give Cincinnati a good chance. But okay,
I wanted to say one more thing before we move on. I know we got to move on. But this is one quick question. When we expand to 12 teams, do you think this will still be an issue with a group of 5 team being left out? Because I still think it will, because I think there will be Power 5 bias when it comes to.
Well, the only thing we can hope for is that they make it to where the best group of 5 team is guaranteed a spot.
As they should. As it should.
But I get the feeling that if it does
a certain ranking.
I get the feeling if they expands to 12, I think some people were saying that they were worried that that's immediately going to be like the SEC is going to try and get up to 5 teams in there, try and get it. Alabama.
That's probably what it's going to be.
Texas. I could see it. If Oklahoma State loses, if Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State, and then Wake Forest loses, right, which may happen, then you could have Auburn make it all the way in there. Then you could have Ole Miss and Mississippi State come up, and then that's 5 teams in the SEC right there, making it if they get.
Speaking of SEC bias,
I know, but they got to make it to where if you expand to 12, they got to make it to where each conference winner makes it. Then the best group of 5 team.
I agree.
Right, either Cincinnati or a US or UCF coming out of nowhere or something, and then that still leaves 6. That still leaves 6 extra options.
But I mean, are you gonna honestly rank an undefeated Notre Dame team below a 2-loss conference champion?
Yeah,
like in the rankings.
Well, you probably. Yeah. I mean, they might have it to where Notre Dame might, because that's the other thing. That's what we were talking about before. It was. Or I think what Brady or on the Harris Highlight show, what they were talking about, where when the rumors came out that it would be if all the teams in the top 4 would get like automatic buys or something, or like automatic bids, and then the only way that Notre Dame would be able to get like an automatic bid, or the highest they would be able to rank would be like 5 or 6, so they went undefeated. Well, I always said he had no problem with that. Yeah. But and yet again, that's the biggest problem for Notre Dame. They can have a really good schedule, which they've had. Their schedule has been, it looked better to begin the season, but UNC fell off a cliff. Virginia Tech, has been whatever. Of course,
it would be so awesome if we had a 12-team playoff right now, because Notre Dame would be matched up against Michigan State. That would be so awesome.
No, because I think what they would do is they would actually have it to where the top 4 all have buys. Oh, there's Lucas. With just his nose.
Lucas.
Yo.
Lucas, you have something to say? Do you need to go off on Ryan here?
Over Notre Dame. Can I finish my thing real quick, and then we can go?
Go ahead.
So I think the way we go with the 12 team is the top 4, you're gonna have the top five. You're gonna have the 5 Power 5 conference winners, and then a 6 at-large bid or a 6 Group of 5 winner, right? And those would be probably not in that order, but whoever's the top 4 gets buys, and then 5 through 12 play. And I think the best thing they could do is, that would just be all of the New Year's 6 bowls for those games. And then
if that happened, Notre Dame would play Michigan. Like that would still be an amazing matchup.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, you'd have Baylor playing Michigan.
No, Baylor would play Ohio State. Oklahoma State would play Cincinnati. Notre Dame would play Michigan, and Wake Forest would play Oklahoma. I
was going the wrong way. Okay, my bad.
I will say it's SEC bias though in those rankings too.
Yeah.
The SEC has the highest 0-loss team, 1-loss team, 2-loss team, 3-loss team. What's that?
Yep. Okay, what's up, Lucas? Why are you? Did you have to are you in the bathroom? Did Lucas, you sneak away in the bathroom to talk to us?
I'm in my break room right now. No, I gotta say, there is an incredible SEC bias, of course, like always, and we know that's going to happen.
Someone said on the college football subreddit that the committee is treating Alabama, ranking Alabama, by giving them an extra win that they don't actually have because they thought they were going to win that game. So they're treating it like Alabama's undefeated. That's why they're above Michigan State and Oregon and all those other teams.
That makes sense. I guess I'll just give my 2 cents on the top 10 real quick before I got to go. I'm not mad at Notre Dame being at number 10, just because, I think they're pretty much better than any of the teams below them. So I'm not really too worried about that. Wake Forest, I think I would almost put Wake Forest in front of Oklahoma just because of how they've looked. I know they've played nobody, but they've
Would you put Notre Dame in front of Wake Forest, though? Would you put Notre Dame all the way up at 8?
I wouldn't, only because they've had way too many close calls this season.
They've had Oklahoma-itis.
And Wake Forest has had a lot of really convincing wins, and their offense looks like one of the toughest to stop in the country right now. So I'd keep Notre Dame where they are, but that doesn't mean that they can't move up, because I think
Notre Dame does have a dominating win against number 21 Wisconsin not on the road.
Wisconsin is still very mad to me. I don't know if I want them ranked or not.
I understand the Wisconsin game. It wasn't dominant until the very end when Wisconsin gave up. But it does look good on paper. But like I said, I don't think Notre Dame is in a bad spot. I think that they can move. I definitely think they can move up for sure in these next coming weeks. But Oklahoma is probably too high, even at 8, just because they've looked really, really bad. It's not to say that they won't be in the top 4 by the end of the season, because obviously this is the very first rankings, and anything can happen. I'm pretty sure in every single first ranking of the college football playoff, the number 1 team missed the playoffs, if I'm correct on that.
Not the number 1 team, the number 2 team, I believe.
I thought it was number 3.
It was not 1. I know it was 2 or 3.
Well, no, because Mississippi State though missed, but that was just the first ever. But that was just one off.
Yeah, because
anyways,
was number 1 the year after.
My point is things can change very quickly. And then
kind of funny, we didn't talk at all about Michigan at 7.
Yeah, for Michigan,
we have a good spot. We think.
For Michigan, it's a good spot. But the thing about Michigan, this Michigan spot is it is kind of showing the committee's true colors with losses. So they didn't punish Michigan very badly at all for that loss to Michigan State. They didn't punish Alabama, obviously, very badly at all for their loss to Texas A&M. They didn't punish Oregon for their loss. They didn't punish Ohio State for their loss. So it's like,
but they punished Notre Dame for their loss to Cincinnati.
I don't even think they punished Notre Dame for their loss to Cincinnati.
No,
they had a really close win against a few unranked teams. So, I mean,
I know, but the last 2 weeks they've gotten their stuff together. I mean, they beat USC convincingly, and then they beat UNC.
They won by
USC is terrible. They beat UNC by 10, and it was close at the end.
Georgia
Sam Howell had a
Tech
chance.
UNC by more than Notre Dame.
I know, but that UNC game was over by the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Okay.
I mean, it was just going back and forth at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they punished them as bad as they could have. They could have easily put them below probably Baylor and Oklahoma State, but I think they did it right by putting them above them. It's just for Michigan, I think it was a good spot, and it definitely showed kind of their true colors. I think they have an opportunity to move up. I'm really high on Michigan, but at this point, as an Oregon fan, I think I really want Michigan to just kind of like fall off. Just because it's going to make Ohio State look better if they beat them. And then if Michigan, I guess really right now, I just really need Georgia to go undefeated. I probably need Michigan State to go undefeated. And then after that,
you need Georgia obviously to beat Alabama.
Yeah. I don't, and this is actually a question I can ask for you guys, because I don't know if you guys, kind of talked about it yet, but if Alabama beats Georgia, who gets left out?
Both of them get in. That's what happens.
Both of them would still get in.
I know that. I know 100%. I know that. But who's going to end up getting left out? Because Alabama's going to be number 1, and then Georgia is probably going to end number 4.
Well,
who's going to be 2 and 3?
It depends on Oklahoma. It depends on how Oklahoma does. I think that's a really
Oklahoma.
I'm saying if Oklahoma wins out, they're ahead of Oregon just because they have 2 ranked teams.
If they win, Oklahoma State and Baylor still ahead.
I would probably have to take Oklahoma.
I would take an undefeated team over them too. But are we going to potentially see an Alabama, Oklahoma? Then
I don't think Oklahoma would be any higher than 4.
See, that's also the issue with having Cincinnati at 6, as it's not just what they got to worry about in front of them. Like they talked about behind them. Because
if Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State and Baylor, those doesn't matter if they struggle. Those are good wins because they're both ranked. But I think the bigger issue is how's the Big 10 play out. If
the worst case scenario for Cincinnati with the Big 10 is it, like I said this earlier, if Michigan State beat Michigan, okay, and then Michigan State, and then Michigan beats Ohio State.
Well, Ryan, I can guarantee you right now, based off of these rankings, if there is 4, if there's obviously 4, which always has been, where they have 1 or less loss conference champions, or even obviously the only possibility is if Georgia loses to Bama, that's the only possibility to have 2 teams.
The only way
we can all agree.
The only way Cincinnati can make it is if Alabama loses again and Oklahoma loses one of those.
They would probably need Oregon to lose as well. They would probably need Oklahoma to lose, Oregon to lose.
Or they would need maybe Michigan State to beat Ohio State.
I mean,
that would both give Michigan State better strength, but also hurt Oregon.
See, the thing with Cincinnati, it's the same thing with Notre Dame. With how these rankings came out, I think Notre Dame's stuck at 10. That's their ceiling, in my opinion. Cincinnati, their ceiling right now is 6. Unless there is absolute chaos, which even if there's absolute chaos, there's still a chance if there's 2 Big 10 teams with 1 loss. I mean, who do you put in?
They could be ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean,
1 at 4 and 1 at 5.
Exactly. So I think right now Notre Dame and Cincinnati, they're stuck. I mean, there's no moving up for either of them.
Cincinnati is just going to have to – and Lucas is gone. I think Cincinnati, we got to wrap this up, at least for this.
Yeah.
But I think Cincinnati
we can talk about it next week.
Cincinnati's
a great thing.
Because we can talk about this because next week will be fascinating with some of the games going on.
It will all handle itself out.
Exactly. Everything's going to play out. Everything's going to be fine.
So I guess we can do a real quick recap of the game. The only game I think we need to talk about is the Michigan State game.
Refs.
If there's anything else that we need to talk about.
No. Kenneth Walker.
Ryan, you cannot talk about refs. I don't want to hear
it. Yes,
Yes,
I can.
No, you cannot. You are
Kenneth Walker for Heisman.
I agree. Kenneth Walker, though, for Heisman, though. I will say he's a beast. The refs definitely hosed.
Michigan did not. Michigan did not want to tackle Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, but Kenneth Walker.
Dude, I saw that video. Okay, I saw the fumble. It's so close that you can't really. There's nothing you can do other than keep it as it was. That's so close. So
they literally showed a snapshot with his.
There he is.
Hey, it's
Scott. He's alive.
He's not dead.
Please watch the game, or at least the game. Watch the stream. What is up, Scott? There you go. Scott, can you get a bunch of your followers and subscribers to come over and watch this right now, please?
No one loves us like they love you, bro.
Yeah. Kos, we really need to do what we were planning on doing, which is starting an own channel for this. We need to do that going forward.
We will at some point, bro.
We will after the season. I think that's.
I think at the end of the season we'll have this as its own separate channel from yours.
Yes.
But so I mean, sure, you can blame the refs, but that was so close. At least on that's so close. But okay, beyond that, did Michigan choke or did Michigan State win it?
Michigan State won.
Michigan choked 100%.
Michigan State won this
Jim
game.
Harbaugh, what were you doing? Putting in a freshman quarterback
who had fumbled
the
drive before.
You fumble again?
That's a good point.
What are you thinking? This is just such a Jim Harbaugh thing to do. Jim Harbaugh thing to do. I'm
just so glad that the Ravens were smart and chose the John Harbaugh instead to coach them because he's been with us and we actually won a championship with him instead of being this perpetual state of I can't say the exact words, but I think you can imagine what I'm trying to say.
No, I know what you're trying to do. I mean the thing is, Jim Harbaugh was an idiot. He should have just. McNamara was playing so good that McCarthy should have not been playing. I don't care.
McNamara, that first touchdown pass, that was just a beautiful throw right across the middle. And that dude came out of nowhere too.
That Anthony dude. He was playing great the whole game.
What?
He was playing great the whole game.
I didn't watch the whole game, unfortunately. I watched.
He's playing great ball the whole game. I just don't understand why at the end Harbaugh was playing him.
Well, I was confused because when I was listening to it on the radio on the way to Notre Dame, and the announcer said that something like Cade McNamara on one play or whatever after
he was in the blue tent at one point.
Yeah, he walked off. That's why when I got
I think that's the play. I think that's the play where that sequence of plays where he fumbled the first time and he got kicked out of bounds by Michigan State.
I just think at that point though, at the second time he brought him in, you should have not. You should have left the other guy in. I mean, I'm sorry, but McCarthy, he'll be great, I think, down the road. But to put a true freshman in that position where he hasn't played a great deal of ball, I don't like that decision. This is not the move.
How I look at it though is if you're gonna say Michigan gave this game to Michigan State.
And the other man, the myth, the legend, Joshua
Bryant.
What is up,
Josh?
But they were talking about this on Sirius XM radio on my way home from South Bend. You could say
you're just constantly referencing the fact that you're
because that's literally what I did all freaking day.
Ryan,
but anyway,
constantly going to South Bend.
Oh my God, who the hell?
But anyway, they were talking about it, and it's like, okay, yeah, Michigan had a 30-14 lead. Okay. But whose fault? I mean, did Michigan's defense? Was it the offense's fault that they couldn't stop Kenneth Walker? No. Was it all on the offense for turning over the ball?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. But who's supposed to stop? Whose job is it to stop Michigan State from scoring off of a turnover? That's Michigan's defense. Okay.
Okay. What do you want them to do? They're gonna at least get a field goal out of that position.
Okay, but I'm saying. You can't just be one-sided with it. Yes, it's a little bit of both. Michigan had some dumb play calling. Michigan had some quote-unquote wrong calls from the ref, even though they showed a screenshot.
On that
they showed a screenshot.
There was a hold. I literally could see that clear as day. Even on the, I think I watched the replay again. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
You're taking the position of Rich Eisen where he just showed four.
No,
different
I'm just
examples
pulling
of
the Ryan and blaming the rest.
No, I'm saying like if
He's
you
just blaming the
no,
refs.
because Andrew says it was a fumble for a touchdown. If you actually watch the replay,
Are you talking about the first touchdown?
Yes, the one where it was a fumble for a touchdown, and they called it. They said he was down. They literally had a shot, of Thorne's knee or shin or whatever on the ground, and he's got the ball like this. That is not a fumble. He's down. The ball is not out.
That. They did not.
Yes, they did.
That. No, they did not.
Yes,
every show they had someone blocking it. But okay,
you can see
I
the
rest
ball
my case. I still think if they play this game 10 times, Michigan wins 6 out of 10.
I don't know.
That's probably fair, but unfortunately that did not happen. And unfortunately, I don't know if there was any other really big games that happened.
No.
Hey, Clemson beat Florida State. They actually looked decent, but
Bo Nix didn't Bo Nix. He wasn't.
Yeah,
Bo Nix
has actually starting to look pretty good. I will give him that. And also, I feel bad for Matt Corral because I think his Heisman chances might have gone down.
Can we give the Heisman to Kenneth Walker?
That's another thing. You know how there's always places that you don't want to, that teams just don't seem to want to play, or they really, or there are certain situations where teams do really well. You never want to play Auburn at home at night because they always seem to do really well in those games.
Well, what is it? I've seen that Alabama has not won in Jordan-Hare since 2015. They have not won in Jordan-Hare since.
Well, it's only every other year, but that's wow, that's crazy. Okay, so I think we'll move on real quick and go to our stunners and bummers. These are the players and or coaches, the individuals who, shot for the stars, and maybe they didn't get the stars, but they hit the moon, or the players and or coaches that got sucked into the darkest of black holes. So. Ryan, who are your stunner and bummer for the week?
So I know you guys are going to call me a homer anytime.
Yes,
this is the second straight week, isn't it? Is this the second straight week?
Yes, this is the second straight week.
Oh my God, dude!
So,
come on.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
So my stunner of the week is Kyron Williams, the best running back in college football. 22 carries, 199 yards. He was one short of 200.
Against the terrible UNC defense.
9 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, and his touchdown run was 91 yards. That tied the 5th longest touchdown in Notre Dame Stadium history.
Against the terrible UNC defense.
Where he actually broke 3 tackles and then stiff-armed UNC's best. He stiff-armed UNC's
you
best.
Have to stop yourself.
Stop, please.
Whoa, here we go, Ryan. This is all I got.
He stiff-armed UNC's best defensive player, who has 24 sacks on the season.
Okay,
and just put him in the ground.
Dude. I don't want to hear
anyway.
Blah, 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 blah.
So, yes, Kyron Williams for Heisman. But then my bummer of the week is Adrian Martinez. The Nebraska quarterback played god-awful this week. You know what, Josh? Hey, we're still better than Kentucky.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are. Our running back's better than whatever their running back's name is.
No.
Yes. Adrian Martinez was 14 for 29. 48% completion percentage for 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions versus Purdue. I don't know what else we can say about Adrian Martinez and his stint as the Nebraska QB, but he'll have games like this.
As every Nebraska.
See, Joshua knows what's up. Let's go, Josh. I love it. W, big W.
Hey, you know what? Kyron is way bigger and stronger than was it Rodriguez? He's just better. So
he's not.
Yes,
no. So I have the true best running back in the country as my center. Kenneth Walker.
Deserved.
Who literally, as Gus Johnson said, nice. As Gus Johnson said on his last touchdown, Kenneth Walker, welcome to New York. I think he has he's probably not won it, but he's definitely at least secured a spot in New York, I think.
Yeah, unless he just completely falls off.
Yeah.
Well, right now, as of
I
the rankings for Heisman, it's like they still have Bryce Young ahead of him,
Yeah.
Jordan Davis from Georgia, and
That's
then it's
Jordan
Kenneth Walker.
Davis, so it deserves to be on the Heisman finals.
Jordan Davis is like
he's like freaking beer truck.
Well, like isn't he also like 26? Like he's really
he
really
is.
He's like 26. He's like he's like a super.
Yeah,
he's like a quadruple.
Wait, he's 26.
Yeah.
How was that allowed?
Well, I mean, wasn't that one quarterback at one point from Oklahoma
Brendan
State
Whedon when he was 28?
Yeah,
Wait,
like 28,
what?
29.
How is that okay?
I don't know. It's just like one of those things where like he probably like didn't start school early or something, and he didn't start it off. I don't know the exact details, but Kenneth Walker, he probably is second in Heisman. Behind.
Well, that's
Bryce
literally the
Young
rankings right now.
Besides the rankings, but at least for me, that's where I would put him. But Walker, 23 carries, 195 yards, scored all 5 touchdowns. That is the most rushing touchdowns in Michigan State's series history. That's the most rushing touchdowns by any player versus Michigan in a single game. Wow. That's a good point, Scott. And then, of course, there's the famous Brendan Whedon, Oklahoma State legend, and also Cleveland Brown legend as well, who I think was like 28 or 29 when he was starting at Oklahoma State. So, Kenneth Walker, I've been saying it. I think I was the first person to say on this. I know Luke or Ryan quickly followed me, but I've been saying pretty much the entire season since like the second game of the season that he's the best running back in the country. And he looked at this past Saturday. And then my bummer is Lane Kiffin for not knowing what a field goal is, because he decided to not take the points in the red zone. They were 3 for 4 on 4th down in this game, and they had 3 turnovers in the red zone. 1 on turnover downs, 1 I think was a fumble. Oh, he's not.
I actually
Scott knows more than us.
I mean, I just looked on Fox Sports and it said he is. What? Maybe I just got the wrong dude.
Maybe it's the wrong Jordan Davis.
I guess I literally just looked.
Scott's more knowledgeable than us. We'll just say that. Oh my God, that dude showed up again. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I blocked it. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lane Kiffin, SEC Shorts did their whole mocking of Lane Kiffin for not willing to take the field goals, which I wouldn't have helped because they still lost.
He has really cost them like 2 games by just.
I saw something. They in wins. I think I saw they were 21 of 24 on 4th down in wins, and on 4th down they are 3 for 9 in losses. So, he's being aggressive, which I don't mind, but at the same time, you just got to take the points sometimes. Would that have helped against Auburn being down by 11? Probably not, even if they gotten all the field goals. But at the same time, like there's got to be times where you got to take the points still. And, everyone's thinking, oh, Lane Kiffin's bolting for LSU after this. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. And maybe that would be funny, but he's going to take his mistake ridden offense down there into the bayou.
I mean, honestly, we could have, like, with how Kenneth Walker has been playing and everything, could this be the year we have the first defensive player win the Heisman with how wide open it is, with how Jordan Davis is playing? Could we have the first defensive player Heisman?
Maybe, but Jordan Davis hasn't really. I mean, he's one of those players that it's not the stats that matters. The fact that no one is willing to put the ball anywhere near him. It's just like also, I think he has 18 tackles on the season and like 2 sacks. Like no one is willing to run or do anything near him. Like he's that he's like an Aaron Don. He's like the Aaron Donald of college football this year. Like no one's willing to do anything near him. So that might be have its own value to the Heisman committee, but we'll just have to see.
Also, for a correction with the Jordan Davis, I think it's a different one because the Jordan Davis we're talking about for Heisman, he did not graduate until 2018 from high school. But yeah, I agree.
Probably not, Josh. More than likely not. Yeah, true, Scott.
No, he's not going to win the Heisman.
He might be invited, but I don't know.
No, here's the thing: if Ndamukong Suh could not win the Heisman,
Did
No
Fuchs
defensive
come
lineman
in
is not
second
good.
that year though? Didn't he come in?
Yeah,
second?
but he should have.
did.
I mean, he came second to Ingram, but and Ingram did have a good year, but like I still would have given it to Sue.
I still think
Okay.
you give Jordan
Andrew,
Davis
let's
an
let's
invite.
go. Let's go.
All right, so
Who are
my
your
stunner
stunners and burners?
is finally I can do a Clemson guy. Finally, an offensive stunner. My boy Will Shipley.
I could have done a Virginia Tech player this week as well, and I should have done that. But
Trey Turner?
Will
Trey Turner.
Shipley, my guy. Finally, 25 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, and got the game clincher with like a few minutes left to go in the fourth. And then also he had 4 catches for 24 yards. Will Shipley and Phil Maffa down the road for Clemson's offense are going to be an amazing two-headed monster. Will Maffa had the longest carry for Clemson of the season that year at 61 yards. But yeah, I think Will Shipley is the real deal. He's finally shown that he's healthy again. He played really well. My bummer is the Virginia defense. Oh my goodness, man. You gave up what, 66 points, man? I know BYU has a pretty good offense, but come on, man. 66 points? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't understand. And also to go with it, we're gonna look at I'm pulling up the stats here for the team stats, by the way, in this game. 734 total yards, 349 passing, 385 rushing. Like, I know Virginia's defense has been down at times, but this is definitely the worst at all.
Well, I mean, we almost had a crazy looking shootout. Kobe Pace
for Clemson, yeah. Kobe Pace is good, but I would take the other two.
Oh,
I would take.
We'll do that. We'll do that next.
Scott Fisher. We can talk
well,
about that.
That's mine. Yeah. Well, actually, let's go ahead and ask it now. We can actually go ahead and answer that now because I'm
Justin Fuente.
Just
because he was the offensive coordinator. He was the OC at TCU, I think, when who the hell was that? Who was
their quarterback that was really good when Gary Patterson was there?
Andy Dalton.
No,
it was Dalton. It was Dalton.
TCU, no, not just Dalton. There was a guy after
Fuente
him.
was the offensive coordinator for TCU during that, and then he went to Memphis, and then he had Paxton Lynch, and that's where he got the name of what's up, James. And then you got the name of quarterback guru, even though he's most definitely not, because I don't know.
They're saying I think Billy Napier would be a good one.
Fuente had already flirted with Baylor.
Trayvon Boykin too is who you.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Boykin.
Yeah. So
I would say Billy Napier.
I've actually heard a lot that he might go to LSU because it's homegrown. I mean,
or Sonny Dykes from SMU.
Well, Sonny Dykes is the guy that Virginia Tech is supposedly looking at. That's
why
my name, at least for my joke name, is it's always Sonny in Philadelphia because that's apparently the number one guy. So the way I see it going forward, it doesn't matter how the season goes for Fuente, really. I even if they make a bowl and even if they win it, I think he's done, but any losses from this point just going to more fully guarantee it. Because apparently there's some really frosty relationships within the Virginia Tech athletic department. So I think Fuente is done, but we'll just find out.
I would say Jamie Chadwell then or Sonny Dykes. That's what I would if I were to pick.
Yeah, Scott thinks Napier will go SEC. I agree. He'll probably.
I can see that too because
I think maybe if Lane goes to LSU, he could go to Ole Miss maybe.
But I will say this though about Billy Napier. He's gotten a bunch of offers from bigger schools to come and leave Louisiana that he's declined. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but I mean, there have been a few SEC schools. I think I understand it's Vandy, but I think Arkansas at some point. I
was surprised when that guy from the TCU or the UTSA coach got an extension when he was because at them and A know that he was starting to get some calls from bigger group of five and then
Scott, I would decline that too.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you seen South Carolina, man? They're a crapshoot right now, man.
At this point, I'd rather take Shane Beamer over.
They literally had what's his name, Gunnar Stockton, who is like as a 5-star quarterback. I don't know for next year or the year after.
Yeah,
And he was originally committed to South Carolina. He's I believe from what's that high school? It's up. It's not too far from me. Rabun County. It's about an hour and a half drive from me. And he decommitted from South Carolina. It's going to Georgia.
Okay. So let's move on to our next segment. This is our meme team of the week. This is where we get to laugh at. This is the team part of that extension of Stunning.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Exactly. We get to make fun of some teams that messed up or played poorly, became a meme unto themselves. So Andrew, why don't you take off first?
Don't mind if I do. Give me 1 second to pull this up. Okay. All right. So my meme.
Is that where you think Napier will go, Scott?
I think that maybe his meme team.
No, no. He's saying Mizzou is where Napier's gonna go.
Oh no, because Mizzou won this week, so they're not the meme team.
Okay, so my meme team of the week. Apologize for that. Is going to be the Pittsburgh Panthers. Yes, this isn't who they necessarily lost to, but Pitt.
That looks like a high school team or something.
They look decent. No, it's not. I think it's an older team.
It's definitely a high school team or something.
Oh, Scott did say Mizzou is a meme team, but I do see Pittsburgh. Yeah, I kind of thought I could see them lose to Miami, but I was just barely disappointed with Pitt, especially after last week. It just shows if Clemson. This just showed again. If Clemson doesn't make those offensive shooting themselves in the foot 20 freaking times, they beat Pittsburgh. I don't think they're as good as everyone thought. Their defense is atrocious. And Miami showed it. Miami's, like I said, better than their record shows. So that's who my meme team is this week, and I think it's 100% deserved. Sorry, Pittsburgh, they don't deserve to be top 25 after that.
There you go, Ryan.
All right, so
Costa can bring it up.
Yep. My meme team of the week is going to be the Michigan Wolverines.
That's all you got to show. That is literally all you
That's all you got to show, my guy.
I think literally that was every Michigan fan's face watching that game last Saturday, especially the fourth quarter. And I guess you could also say that was the face of every defender when Kenneth Walker was running at them. So, yeah, as a Notre Dame fan, can't pull any punches when Michigan chokes. So, yeah.
Andy does too when they're in the playoff.
Hey, you know what? We don't choke against our rivals. All right.
Okay.
Okay. And my meme team is
give me 1 second.
One of the most offensively inept teams, Iowa. So they lose to Purdue, and then Wisconsin comes along and beats both Purdue and Iowa, proving that they have the biggest shark.
And blowout fashion.
That's true. In both cases. That's true.
They actually made Graham Mertz look good.
Yeah.
That is what's
That's when you know. That's when you know.
Hey,
that's when you know how bad Iowa was. They made Graham Mertz look good.
Hey, you know what? I won't say they made Graham Mertz look good, but Malusi is something else. That dude is a freaking
okay. Will Jack Cohn follow the way of Graham Mertz and go to Wisconsin?
I want him back. I want Malusi back. Why do you have to leave? He really didn't get the work, but I'm glad to see him doing well elsewhere.
Yeah. So our next segment is our regret of the week. This is the pick or the hot take that we made that we regret the most. And I will start off by saying it's a continuation of my meme team, choosing Iowa and expecting their offense to actually do anything. Their offense is completely.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Thank you. I definitely played myself, and I've also hurt myself in the pick'ems because of this. So sad tombstone. In the
so can we say now that Spencer Petras is worse than Graham Mertz?
Probably,
they're both
equally bad. I take Tulia Tagovailoa over them.
Obviously, I mean he's not that bad. I mean he's actually.
Maryland's 5-3, actually doing well. They only need one more win and they make a bowl game.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Iowa expecting their offense to actually do anything. That is my biggest regret, because that really hurt me in the pick'ems. Ryan.
My regret of the week is picking Florida State. It was one of my few losses this past weekend.
No, means no.
But it's just, it actually makes me upset because the one time I have faith in this Florida State team, they let me down. I mean,
You should never have faith in Florida State.
Congratulations.
I-
You played yourself.
I wanted to see Andrew cry some more from Clemson's
Yeah,
woes.
guess what?
But
Braves are world champs. The real tomahawk is right here in the ATL, the 404. It's not down in Tallahassee. Get that out of here.
And you know what? The Clemson home winning streak is what, 33 games now?
32.
Yes, sir.
32?
Yes, sir. 32. Longest in the country. Yes, sir.
We'll see if they could keep that up. But yeah, I mean, Florida State played better than they have in the past against Clemson, but that's not saying much as Clemson is having a really
They did
bad
have
down
one
year.
freak play, though, I will say. They did have one freak play that I will give the guy credit for staying up, but I think
That guy where
Clemson held Florida State to 230 yards of total offense. And Clemson is, I'm telling you, man, Clemson is right around the
and
corner.
Andrew's mom is coming in here, getting ready to smack Ryan over the head with getting ready to smack Ryan. Oh man, that's your mom, right?
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
Hi, Costa's mom.
Yeah. Man, I already could be a potential COVID candidate here. Okay, leave me alone. But thankfully,
okay, Ryan,
Not
Costa,
her fault.
here's your regret.
my regret of the week definitely is taking Iowa State. Dude, I will say again,
Oh, I took Iowa State too.
refs
got
did
kicked
play a
in the
factor
there.
in this game. Brees Hall got hosed on a fumble that shouldn't have been a fumble. This was actually one that should have not been a fumble. He got hosed.
I tried to warn you, Brock Purdy was going to Brock Purdy.
It was not Brock Purdy's fault. He didn't throw any picks. He didn't throw any interceptions.
He threw one.
Okay, he did throw one. But it was also more their defense was just very disappointing more than anything in that game. That's just my personal opinion. I'd said their defense had been like top all year. Yes, they are. They are a dead program. But yeah, no,
They've been dead since Winston left.
No,
Well, actually, they were on a
no.
3-game winning streak coming into the
That's true.
Clemson game. So
No, I think that Florida State is just again, it's like I've said all year long-term program that needs to build. Mike Novell's doing some good things.
hey,
Well,
they've
it's
got
good
2 5-stars for next year. Or
Their
next
recruiting
year.
class is very good for next year. I'm telling
Yep.
you, Mike Novell is going to get that program back
Okay.
to winning ways.
Now
It's
let's
going to go
do-
back to being Clemson at Florida State in the game in the ACC very soon.
Okay, Costa, can we do recruitment pitch?
I knew. I think let's go ahead and get to those pick'ems.
Yeah, we need to get on the pick'ems. Let's try and get through these 23 games in less than.
Well,
an hour.
I gotta say the new league.
Yeah, what's the update? Where are the update? I also
All right.
am naming off Lucas's picks as well.
Okay.
So I'll be going live.
So Andrew had another amazing weekend.
Nothing.
With first place, now with not a 1-point lead, but a 4-point lead. Andrew is
now?
yes.
What?
Let's go! Let's go!
So Andrew is in front with 88 points. And then second,
I've been taking some stupid picks. Oh my god.
and then second, Connor has been falling by the wayside.
Yeah, I was in the lead 3 weeks ago by like 5.
You were actually in the lead by like 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I was.
Connor is with 84.
Josh.
And then Lucas and me are tied, bringing up the rear at 82. But we did gain 2 points on Connor after this weekend. So, I gained 4. So
Man.
That's okay. You're still behind me, buddy. Y'all got some work to do to catch up. Oh, don't worry, Connor.
I was letting that get to my head, and I decided to take some risky picks.
Don't
Okay.
worry. I still have my surprise pick on that I haven't put in yet.
Oh, right.
now.
Well, how are we going to do it with Lucas? Unless he...
We'll let him pick it later. I'll tell him right now.
Okay.
I'll tell him in the group chat.
First game, Army. First game of the Commander-in-Chief Trophy, Army versus Air Force. Actually, Air Force and Navy already played, but this is the second game.
I would say usually go Army, go, but nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. And we're gonna do the whatever they do with the wave or whatever, the flying bird or whatever. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons as well. Not close.
Yeah, I got Air Force. Lucas says Army.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, after that display against Wake Forest offense, now I don't think many teams will actually be able to stop Wake Forest offense from 2 weeks ago. But
remember,
still.
they gave up. They scored 56.
Yes, I will say this though.
That's the biggest problem for Wake Forest is their defense is bad too.
Air Force's quarterback can actually throw the ball pretty decent. So
yeah, I know.
Okay. Next, we have Marshall at Florida Atlantic. I always keep getting them and FIU mixed up as to who's going into whatever conference that they're moving to.
Oh man, that's what I had to kind of sit on. I mean, when I was making the pick'ems, I'm like, man, what am I going to take? Because it's at Boca Raton. I am going to go with the former Fighting Lane Kiffins in Florida Atlantic.
This is a preview of the Boca Raton Bowl, probably.
We are not. And this is not We Are Marshall. This is We Are FAU.
Like I'm really kind of like on this game. Like I don't really know. I know Marshall is coming into this game off of a 38-0 win against FIU. So We Are Marshall. I'll take the big green.
Lucas has FAU, and I also have FAU as well.
Wow, so I'm the only one here.
Yep. There you go. Now you know what it feels like.
It worked out for me last week with that West Virginia pick.
Exactly. Now we have San Jose State at Nevada.
Man, that's it again.
Looks like Josh is going Army, and then he's going FAU.
Because it is in the creepy city of Reno, Nevada, I'm going to say that the Spartans are going to get attacked and murdered by the Wolfpack pretty gruesomely.
Oh, I forgot San Jose State are the Spartans. Are they the only other Spartans team?
I'm going with the Fighting Colin Kaepernicks.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'm going to go with the Fighting Malik Reeds in this game. Go Broncos.
There's no Broncos in this
game.
There's
no Broncos.
Malik Reed plays for the Broncos. He went to college at Nevada.
Oh, you could have said that.
You could have just said that.
Oh, yeah. I thought you guys would have known that.
No, because we don't care about the Broncos.
Yeah, we don't care about those Bumpkos, dude. Peasants.
It is a clean sweep for Nevada. Lucas and I both have Nevada. So that's a clean sweep. Here's a team that I think should have been ranked. UTSA. I think they are the they are the first undefeated Group of 5 team not to be ranked in the initial college football playoff rankings ever. Or at least to have that many wins and be undefeated. So UTSA at UTEP. UTSA has extended their coach to 2031.
Oh God!
Wow.
Yeah, he extended to 2031.
I mean, I guess a
10-year extension.
I guess a win over Illinois will do that for you. Huh?
Taking the John Gruden route.
UTEP,
hope it doesn't end the same way.
UTEP almost came off with a good win, almost beat FAU last week. So I think they're actually still a pretty good team. They only lost by 3, but I just do think that UTSA is good. It'll be a good game, but I think that UTSA pulls it off at the end by field goal.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go UTSA, go Roadrunners.
And yet another clean sweep. Both me and Lucas have UTSA, go Roadrunners. They're going to have UTEP running into a wall painted like a tunnel. Beep, beep.
Beep,
beep. Okay, next we have South Carolina at Florida, or as Andrew called it, the game that I wish no one would win.
The Spurrier Bowl, the game I wish no one would win.
Spurrier Bowl.
Yeah, could this just be a tie? It's the one time I wish there could be ties because I don't want any team.
Let's go back to the 1990s when you could tie.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go Florida. South Carolina is not good. Their 4 wins are against garbage poop. I mean, they barely beat Vanderbilt. They barely beat East Carolina. That's all you got to say. Give me the Gators.
Yeah, go Gators.
Yeah, Florida's the best.
Go that far.
Florida's probably the best four-loss team in the country, or the best 4-4 team in the country. Probably not. I have no idea. I honestly don't know who else is at 4-4. But me
Tennessee?
But
that's true.
Florida beat
Tennessee. I honestly
Oh,
probably
yeah, I forgot about that.
What?
Florida
I forgot Florida beat Tennessee.
Florida beat Tennessee. So, but yeah, Lucas and I, yet again, another clean sweep. We both took Florida. Texas at Iowa State. Texas is on a 3-game losing streak ever since that Oklahoma game. They have just fallen off a cliff and have not been able to recover.
The battle of the two best running backs in college football. Sorry, Texas, make that 4 in a row, though. It's going to be the Fighting Brees Halls. Give me the Iowa State Cyclones.
See, a lot of people don't know is the last 3 games, Texas has Texas or Longhorned really bad. They had a lead against Oklahoma in the first half, blew it in the second half. Had a lead against Oklahoma State at half, blew it in the second half. They had a lead against Baylor at halftime, blew it in the second half. So this is such a Texas Iowa State. Like both of these teams really choke when it gets tough. But Iowa State is not going to do all the choking in this game. So yeah, go Cyclones.
Lucas says Texas. I think he still believes too much in
Casey Thompson. That's his
way
crush
too much in Casey Thompson. So he is the lone picker of Texas. I have Iowa State. Next, we have Boise State, 4-4 at number 23. These rankings are based on the college football playoff rankings. For those who don't know,
that's Fresno
State at 7-2. The best team, second best team, named the Bulldogs in the country. Actually, no, they beat
third. Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. I always forgot about that.
Man, I was going back and forth on this one because I'm telling you, Boise State can win these games. We already saw them win at BYU this year, but I can't quite get them to do that. I'm going to go with the Fighting Derek Carrs and give me the Fresno State Bulldogs.
Who did Boise State play last week?
Or
did they have a bye week?
I believe last week they beat. The last one was against Colorado State.
Okay, and do we know what the score of that was?
It was 28-19 for reference.
And was that at home or was that on the road?
It was at Colorado State.
Oh, this is just such a game that I feel like Fresno could lose. I'll go Fresno. I got Fresno.
Okay. Clean sweep. Lucas takes Fresno State, and I also take the Fighting Devontae Adams.
Oh, we love to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Keep my lead up.
Yeah, you want. Oh, right. That's a good point. That's a good point. I need to be choosing differently from you. Number 17, Mississippi State at Arkansas.
This has a trap game written all over for Mississippi State. Arkansas is actually a 5-point favorite in this game, and
really?
I think that Arkansas is gonna score a good amount of points. I think Mississippi State. I felt like Mississippi State had a good. That game last week was more fitting for them. I saw that kind of coming, even though I took Kentucky. I could have seen it come. Mississippi State played Kentucky. Arkansas was on bye, I believe.
No, Arkansas played Arkansas Pine Bluff. So basically,
my bad, Pine Bluff. Oh yeah, but I'm going with the Hogs. Woo Pig Suey.
Yeah, Woo Pig Suey. Go KJ Jefferson.
Yep.
Lucas takes Arkansas, and I guess I will finally do it. I'm taking Mississippi State.
The Fighting Darren McFadden's.
The Fighting Dak Prescott's.
There you go.
I'm picking them. USC at Arizona State.
Oh man. For this one, I think Arizona State. If Arizona State could easily have a way better record, but they just keep beating themselves, and it's like it's like our good buddy Blake Harris has said a lot. They just in our group chat he said they've been beating themselves a lot. It's very disappointing. But at this one, it's at Tempe. I'm going to go with the Sun Devils. Forks up.
So in the Blake Harris Highlights Bowl, I know he's probably like kind of torn because I know he's a USC fan. But
yeah, he grew up a USC fan, but went to Arizona State.
So, and actually, I don't know if you guys know, but USC really struggled with Arizona last week. So yeah, I'm going ASU.
It's not a clean sweep. Arizona State for me and for Lucas. Josh, James,
Everyone's going.
everyone's going to Arizona State. Next, we have Penn State at Maryland. Now, I will say I did struggle with this. If Sean Clifford wasn't playing, I probably would pick Maryland. But I'm just gonna say right now, I'm taking Penn State, and so is Lucas.
Yeah,
I really want to take Maryland because they are doing a lot better, and Tagovailoa is playing really well.
Well, Penn State, I think, despite how injured Clifford was last week, played pretty well against Ohio State. Arguably could have won that game. And just for that reason,
what about Blake Harris? I don't know.
What about Blake Harris? Oh, how he's a USC, grew up a USC fan and Arizona State graduate.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the Nittany Lions in this one. No disrespect to Maryland.
Ryan. I was going to say Lucas, but he's not.
Go Penn State.
Okay, yeah. Lucas and I, so it's a clean sweep again. We all take Penn State. Do you have the surprise yet?
No, I see it. It's already in there. It's already in there.
I see it down there. Number 19, NC State at Florida State.
This has trap game win all over it, and I'm going to actually go with an upset here. I think the Seminoles get it done in Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, because no one ever wants
have you ever been to Tallahassee, bro? It's gross. It's actually disgusting.
I try to avoid going to Florida in general, so.
I've heard bad things about the campus. Like around the campus, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
The campus nice, but then the area around it's bad?
Yeah. And also, well, remember, Tallahassee has two schools. It's got Florida A&M too, but like it's just the energy, it's just around it. It's just not that. It's very sketchy.
It's also got a very bad crime area, but FSU is still not the real FSU, but I'm gonna go with the upset as well. Go Seminoles.
Okay. Me and Lucas are going to NC State, so that's a split right down the middle.
Fun fact, by the way, NC State's only a 2.5-point favorite.
That's not that bad, actually. Oklahoma State versus Western Michigan.
You mean
Western Michigan. West Virginia.
I was thinking Western.
Oh, man.
West Virginia.
All right. Oklahoma State is the most overrated 7-1 team, just like Oklahoma is the most overrated 8-0 team.
The entire state of Oklahoma is overrated.
Yes, 100%.
What's up?
Yes, but right. I'm going to go with a West Virginia upset again. It's at Morgantown. And at the end they're going to be singing "Country Roads."
You sing that whether they win or lose.
They do that. Well, they hug each other.
That's true. What they're doing. They sing it regardless of win or loss.
Well, okay. Well, they're going to be singing it in tears of joy.
Okay, so Andrew stole my thunder. I was the only one that took West Virginia last week, and they proved me right. They did. They beat Iowa State last week.
Oh, they won.
Yeah. Go West Virginia. Mountaineers, country roads, take me home.
Yet again, another split.
Also, they're 4-4. I screwed up on that thing.
They're what?
They're
4-4. They're not 3-5.
Oh,
my apologies.
4-4. Okay, that makes it a little bit different. I think yours said.
By the way, you
only say what they win. Thank you, Scott. But yeah, me and Lucas are taking Oklahoma State.
Oh wow, another split again.
Another split. Michigan State versus at Purdue.
You want to know what the money line on this is?
I'm gonna the money line.
Or like this, the spread.
Spread. I'm gonna guess 3 points. Michigan State.
Yes, you are 100% right.
I should get a point for that. Dang.
Yeah, you should actually. That actually is pretty good. Man,
Ryan,
I
give me an extra point.
really
give you an extra point.
I really want to take Purdue in this one. I really do. But I mean, after what Michigan State did last week, I gotta go with Sparty here. And Sparty gets the dub here.
This is really a big upset watch game.
This is yet another trap game. I think
Purdue is such. Purdue is such
nice.
They're like one of those teams where they very easily could be 6-1 right now. They played Notre Dame
7-1.
Yeah. I mean, they literally played Notre Dame down to the wire. All they had to do was stop Jack Cohn on that last drive, and they would have beat Notre Dame. So if I'm Michigan State and I'm coming off of a big win and an emotional win against Michigan, you really got to be careful. But I'm still going to go Sparty, but I would not be surprised if Purdue somehow won this game.
I won't either.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm still taking Michigan State, and so is Lucas. But this definitely is probably, honestly, this is probably the biggest trap game of the entire week. Michigan State, how emotional that win is, and how big it was for them. You know, there's always potential for letdown there.
I mean, can we talk about how Fromm? I mean, what's their? Is it Jeff Brom? How he's turned this program around?
Oh, Purdue.
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, like I know Scott Fisher, he actually goes to school at Purdue. I'm pretty sure. He said
he
that.
does? Boy,
Yeah.
Hammer down, Scott. I actually got into school there.
Jeff Brom actually was on the hot seat this year because after the Ohio State win a couple years ago, they have been awful, and he's really done a really good job with what he's got to work with at Purdue.
At one point he was up. They were saying he was going to go to Louisville.
Really?
After that first year when he beat Ohio State. He was a big candidate for the Louisville job.
Okay, let's move on to Tennessee at number 18, Kentucky.
This is really, I think, going to be a good game. I really think that Tennessee's record is very deceiving. But it's at Kentucky, where Kentucky is undefeated. Even though the line is even, Kentucky wins by a field goal.
Yeah, go Wildcats.
Another split. Me and Lucas both are taking Tennessee.
And you know what Josh is going to say, Kentucky. Also, Scott said Saban's offered Brom the Bama offered to coordinator job in 2008. Very interesting.
So, yeah, and then, yeah.
UK going to play peeved.
So
they are going to play peeved. They're coming off a bad loss.
Hendon Hooker is going to whoop that Wildcat butt. And this is the game that you decided to throw in there. The surprise game.
Jesus.
South Alabama versus Troy. I'm just gonna say is Troy, they're the Trojans, right?
The Troy Trojans, yes, sir.
And then South Alabama, what are they? Are they the Cougars or the
Jaguars?
The Jaguars. I knew they were some sort of cat. I couldn't remember. Ryan's looking it up. I'm
looking it up right now.
I'm just gonna go straight up.
So I actually had a guy from my high school when I played my freshman year. He went to South Alabama on a football scholarship. Unfortunately, tore his pectoral and did not play football anymore. But South Alabama is the underdog in this one. But man, Troy looks. Even though they're the underdog, I was going to take them. But psych, Troy looks really good last week at Coastal. I'm going to go with the Trojans. Fight on, real Trojans.
Okay, so I actually played high school football with the starting kicker for South Alabama, who he graduated last year. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this game, also because they played Louisiana Lafayette at Louisiana and only lost by 2 points. Troy's also coming off a very impressive loss against Coastal. So, yeah, go South Alabama. The best team in Alabama.
I'm going to go with Josh taking Troy.
I agree with that. Good man.
I trust the Trojans not to break on me, so I'm taking Troy.
Who did Lucas take? Or are we not asking?
We'll have to have,
that was my surprise.
Oh, okay.
That was the surprise. We're going to have to let him. We're going to have to tell him.
Just ask him in the group chat.
We'll have to have him tell him in the group chat. The Hugh Freeze revenge game. Liberty at number 16. Oh, I forgot to include their thing. And should we tell them now or at the end?
I feel like we should kind of hint at it for next week.
Could have hinted at it. We will be having a coach from one of
This
these two
game.
teams. We will be interviewing him next week, and that interview will be on the show.
Yeah.
We will be letting people know on our social media stuff. If you want to, Costa, put together a banner real quick. Put the social media stuff together. We need a banner for that.
Oh, don't forget to ask
I will.
for the social media of that particular school to see if we can get
Potentially.
that.
Well, I mean, we'll have to
We're
see.
not
We could
gonna
ask during
focus on
the interview.
We're going to leave that alone. We are just going to be grateful for the opportunity,
That's
and we're
true.
not going to try and pick
But
it. We're not going to
yes,
try
we
and
will
push.
we will be interviewing the coach for one of these two teams. And so we will definitely be asking about.
And they're both very interesting personalities.
That's true. That's true. I dropped my pen. What the hell did my pen?
Who knows? It could be big game lane.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
There
The
we go.
lane train? Oh man,
Dude, if we got the
Lane train
lane
is awesome.
train.
The lane train is goated. But okay, so Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite in this game. And the reason I am going to go with Ole Miss is they've just got more around them. And I'm just
Liberty is what, 6-2 as well?
They're 6-2, but they have who they lose to? They lost to, I think, New Mexico or something. Along with, they have two kind of losses that really kind of make me air.
The hell is that?
Ryan's guinea pig.
Yeah, I have a guinea pig. Sorry.
Oh, right.
And he likes my pick.
Ryan, who's your pick?
I'm going Liberty.
Liberty lost to Syracuse. Good
I am
call, Scott.
going
Syracuse,
with
that's
Liberty in this game. Malik Willis is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I just have a weird feeling that Ole Miss is coming off of that really bad loss to Auburn. I understand Auburn's ranked, but it's Bo Nix. Malik Willis is 10 times better than Bo Nix. So, yeah, go with the fighting Malik Willises.
So I really went back and forth. My pick, and honestly the game, I think really swings on whether Matt Corral plays for Ole Miss. If he does not play, I think this could be a loss for Ole Miss. He's still fighting an ankle injury that he suffered a few weeks ago, and he had to be carted off against Auburn. I think in the first or second quarter. He was able to come back in eventually, but wasn't really able to do much off of it. So it really all depends on that. Lucas is also taking Liberty.
Wow.
Yeah, he's taking Liberty. I'm gonna go with Costa though. I know I need to get points on you, but I'm taking Ole Miss. Now,
Howdy towdy, baby.
Howdy. Though of course, if Matt Corral's not playing, I think you and I, Costa, have to be sweating a bit. Because Malik Willis
I've got a lead. I'm chilling.
If anything, I should be. Yeah, that's true. Next we have Wake Forest at North Carolina. If only North Carolina was playing up to their actual potential or how they were, this could have been a really good game. But sadly, no.
Yeah, it actually is. UNC is a 2.5-point favorite in this game, and this, I believe, is the game that Wake Forest goes down. This is the 1 or 2 losses that they need for Clemson to still win the ACC Atlantic. And here comes number 1. I am going with the one and only North Carolina Tar Heels.
All right, so Notre Dame just played North Carolina, and they had no defense. North Carolina
because Wake has no defense.
Okay, but Wake has a way better offense than North Carolina.
That's true.
And also, Wake Forest's offense is way better than Notre Dame's offense and way more explosive. So, yeah, give me Wake Forest and the previously fighting Kenneth Walkers.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot he was with Wake Forest. But wasn't also Kenneth Walker on another team before Wake Forest?
Yes,
UCLA.
UCLA? Wow. So, Costa, you go all by yourself. It is Wake Forest for me and Lucas, which means I'm going to get a point up on you.
This is going to be a regret pick.
All right, if it is, it is. I'll live with that.
Okay. So,
not too upset about
this is the game that I think College Game Day should have been at, not Cincinnati, Tulsa.
It's at Cincinnati and Tulsa?
Yeah. College Game Day. No wonder no one was at College Game Day last week. Did you see the crowd? Like, there was no crowd at College Game Day, but there was a huge crowd at the Fox Sports.
Where was College Game Day at?
It was at Michigan State.
No, they were at Barstool Sports.
Barstool Sports had a bigger crowd. And
Why did everybody not go there? To college game day.
Yes, Scott. Yes, he was. He was there in 2016. I remember that because
Oh, he's talking about Kenneth Walker.
no, I do remember that because when they played what was it called? Texas A&M at Texas A&M, he had the game-winning touchdown for UCLA, the go-ahead touchdown. I just remember going here. I don't know why this play always is made. It's like Vern Lundquiist's last season. Caught Kenneth Walker, touchdown UCLA.
Okay. Ryan, who are you taking? Auburn, Texas A&M.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So it's between who is the starting quarterback for Texas A&M?
I couldn't even name it. Zach, is it Zach, whatever his name is?
Calzada.
So we've got Zach Calzada and Bo Nix.
Will Bo Nix be no Nix, though?
I don't know. See, because I want Auburn to beat Alabama so bad. Oh God!
It's not at Jordan Hare though this year.
I know. Give me the Aggies. Give me Calzada. Give me the Aggies.
No, it would be at Jordan Hare.
They are playing at Jordan Hare this year.
Yeah,
Alabama. So
it might happen.
Yeah.
By the way,
going with
that's a different Kenneth Walker.
It said Kenneth Walker III. Maybe I was wrong. Okay. They literally had that guy as Kenneth Walker.
Well, Scott's much more knowledgeable than us. I always thought
he was a wide receiver though, so I will say Scott is right. I don't know.
Okay,
there's two Kenneth Walker IIIs, man. This is
such a common name. Dang it!
It's the third. They're both Kenneth Walker III. Yeah, I'm dumb. Man, dude.
Hey, we got two Jordan Davises and two Kenneth Walker IIIs on this show.
Okay,
Ryan, who are you taking?
Yeah,
I'm going with the Aggies.
Oh,
Jacob, give me the Aggies.
Okay, me another split. Me and Lucas are taking Auburn.
You really have faith in Bo Nix?
The back-to-back weeks?
Potentially, I don't know. I mean, Bo Nix has been better overall, even on the road recently. And then now getting into our team's games. Josh is taking Auburn. He's going to Bo Nix this week. My Virginia Tech Hokies, who I still don't think are going to keep Justin Fuente after this season. This is the Friday night game, actually, I just realized. They play at Boston College.
Well, Boston College started off 4-0. And
really? Oh yeah, they did.
And ever since I lost to Clemson, they have done nothing since. And I'm sorry, Boston College. I'm gonna have to pick the Fighting Matt Ryans. I have to pick against you and take the Fighting Eddie Royals in Virginia Tech.
Good choice.
Ryan, get off the phone.
He's looking at who he picked. You're muted.
All right, so I want to. You know what? Screw it. I'm taking Virginia Tech. Trey Turner is the best receiver in the Coastal Division. So yeah, go.
Okay. He's like, Trey Turner is the best receiver.
He had to think about how he's going to
like that. That was good.
I like that too. I thought he was good. I like how you had to phrase it there for a second.
Just because I also want Virginia Tech to be bowl eligible.
To make what? To make Notre Dame look better?
No, for Fuente to stay.
God dang it. I swear to God, I really hope that they still fire him if he I'm firmly in they fire Fuente at this point. It doesn't matter what happens. Lucas is taking Virginia Tech as well. And if Boston College had Phil whatever his name is, I think they would win. But like Lucas said, or like Coster said, they've lost since every game since they started 4-0.
Yep.
Virginia Tech has figured out their running game a bit. They've had over 250 yards of rushing the past 2 games.
I should have done my regret of the week also as Georgia Tech. Oh yeah, no Phil Dracovic. That did not.
Yeah, no Phil Dracovic. Yeah, and that could have been mine too. Was taking Georgia Tech as well because I just didn't trust Virginia Tech. But going forward, I still don't fully trust it. But I think Virginia Tech has kind of figured it out offensively a bit. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm still taking Virginia Tech, so that's a clean sweep for Virginia Tech, which makes me fully confident. That means we're going to lose. Next, we have a pretty good matchup, actually, I think. Clemson at Louisville. Of course,
Also, Louisville is 4-4. Well, I screwed it up and said they were 3-5, but I don't.
You had them at 4. You had them 5-3 on the thing.
Oh, I did. All right,
Yeah.
well, I'm dumb.
Who did Louisville play last week? But I picked them. I can't remember who.
They played at NC State and lost.
Okay.
So Ryan, you go first. I'm gonna go last.
Give me the Fighting Lamar Jacksons in an upset. Connor.
Where is it? Lucas has Clemson, and I will take Clemson. They've kind of figured it out.
The offense is getting it together. Louisville's defense is doo-doo, and Clemson's going to slow them down. I'm telling you, man. Clemson literally, his defense is so underappreciated this year because of the offense. It's so sad. Like, it's so sad. This reminds me of 2009 Nebraska when they had that great defense led by Ndamukong Suh and company, and their offense could not do anything. If they had any kind of offense with a pulse, they beat Texas in 2009 in the Big 12 championship. Clemson is going to get this dub, though, and they are still going to have a chance at the ACC Atlantic.
Okay. So Ryan is all by himself taking Lamar Jackson, the Fighting Lamar Jacksons. Obviously, I would love to pick them, but I think
the Fighting Teddy Bridgewaters.
That's
trash,
true.
Just like the Bunkos.
Next, we have Navy at number 10, Notre Dame. Man, I wish Navy was doing better this season because, I saw a graphic and I shared it with you guys a while ago. I think it was this past week. Navy played where they played Tulsa, I think, and someone said it was like a graphic. The times you don't want to play the triple option: first quarter, last quarter, and every time in between. You never want to play the triple option. I mean, I still don't think Navy's going to win, but I really wouldn't be fully that surprised if Navy does that, similar to what they did a few years ago, where they kept Notre Dame having only like 8 possessions the entire game. I think that happened down in Jacksonville, where I think Notre Dame had like 7 possessions the entire game and ended up losing because of that.
No, that was actually up in Maryland.
We never play at Navy because they never play at Navy.
No, I know, but it was a game up in because they had the Baltimore flag and everything.
It was probably at M&T then. Okay, well, I'm still me and Lucas are both taking Notre Dame though. I wish Navy was doing better because I lived right by Navy and I grew up rooting for them and I still do, but Notre Dame's gonna win.
Well, man, I really wanted to take the what's it called?
The midshipmen.
I really want to take the midshipmen. I was going to try and find a clip of where back in 2000 it was. And so will a 43-game losing streak.
You mean 2007
against Notre Dame. Yeah,
dude, my favorite thing is when the dude literally got the sack where he flew over the defender for a strip sack or for a sack to knock Notre Dame on 4th down and then forced overtime.
Yep. And so will as much as I would say that losing streak is going to I wish that were they were going to end another losing streak to them. Not this time. I got to go with the Irish, unfortunately. Boo.
Okay. Since Josh wants to say we only
don't take 10 minutes,
quote unquote quality opponents, we still played better competition other than Georgia than Kentucky, but
no, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Oh, Ryan.
Josh, you also don't know the reason why they always play Navy every year. You need to look that up.
Because they bailed them out in World War II.
Right? Yeah, it's literally in restitution. The Navy literally saved Notre Dame from not being at school anymore.
But like I said last week, I think Notre Dame offense is finally figuring it out. We've been starting to give our 2 true freshmen, Lorenzo Styles and oh God, I can't remember his name, but we've been getting them in then, and we've been able to run the ball a lot last 2 weeks. We finally got our starter on the left tackle side of the O-line, and Kyron's just going to have another big day. So, yeah, go Irish.
Okay. Next, we got Lucas's team, number 4, Oregon, at Washington.
The border war. Oh, man. This is I think Oregon started to pick a
trap game. Right
no,
here. Yes.
Not so fast, my friend. Oregon started to pick it up the last couple of weeks. They looked. I think they're actually starting to get back on where they were earlier in the year, and I'm going to say Scare Ducks. Ducks win this one.
So since Lucas is not here, I'm gonna pick Washington, and here's why. This is actually a big rivalry game.
It is.
Okay, now this is on the road in at Washington. I think that's a big factor. I also don't trust Anthony Brown. This Oregon team has been inconsistent. I am not going to sit here and say Oregon is the number 4 team after beating up on the terrible Colorado team, which they should be doing. They're not going to get credit for that from me.
Okay, Texas A&M barely beat Colorado.
Yeah, go Huskies. Go Fighting John Rosses.
Here come the regrets of the week.
Nope.
Yep, and I'm taking Oregon, and of course Lucas is taking Oregon as well.
The Fighting the Anthony Thomases, the Fighting Black Mambas.
And the $1 ticket game. This is the worst game of the week for us, as anyone who knows anything about college football knows. When UConn was playing Vanderbilt, there were literally tickets going for $1 in the stands. This is the game that you would literally have to give us the ticket for free to go to. We have Old Dominion at Florida International. The second week in a row, Old Dominion is in the $1 ticket game.
And they won.
So they won. They got to keep them in this forever. They got to stay in this forever going forward.
Fun fact, the tickets for this game are going for $5.
I take that.
So
I get to go down to Florida. I know I said I would never want to go
Miami,
to Florida.
Actually. Miami, Florida. People forget that they're in
Miami. That's right. Oh, right. And then Miami, and then Florida International Miami had that infamous fight.
With Miami, yeah, they did. You actually took my thunder with that. Dadgummit. So that's the only thing FIU is good for is getting fights with other players, and that's the only way they are going to win this game. But the thing is, Old Dominion is going to be smarter than that, and it's not going to be about the FIU. It is about to be about the ODU. And Old Dominion, give me the Monarchs. They're going to be crowned winners of this game.
Just like how Monarchs are very clean and they're very present themselves in a very professional way. Old Dominion is going to handle the FIU Panthers in a very professional, nice way.
I like that.
If we also notice FIU, aka the Fighting John O. Smiths, have only one win. Their win is against a college that is named CW Post. I don't know what that means. I don't know what college that is. But yeah, go ODU and the Fighting Jeremy Coxes.
Actually, their win is against Long Island University.
They beat CW Post, and it's 48-10. It was on the FIU.
It's LIU. It is Long Island University. I literally just looked it up. The Long Island University's charts.
Look.
We can't see that.
Okay, well, that thing is wrong because literally I will share the screen right now and prove you otherwise.
What the hell? What the heck is going on with Ryan?
What is Yahoo Sports? That's the blame.
Yahoo Sports? Why are you using that? Look, see, it's right here.
Old Dominion wins this because someone has to.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. See Long Island University and look at the colors. It's LIU and it's literally on the scoreboard. So yeah.
Okay. I'm taking Old Dominion as well. I know firsthand Old Dominion can beat teams. Obviously, my Virginia Tech Hokies. Swear to God, I hope it never happens ever again.
That was one of the worst voice cracks for a game call ever. Was during that OD. I hate that announcer.
No, the greatest voice crack.
No, it's the. Whoa! He has trouble with the snap.
And the ball is free.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about just the guy who called that game against Virginia Tech.
Donut comes in way late with the Minnesota State
Michigan State. Minnesota State is actually Minnesota State Mankato, and that's where my grandparents went to college.
Oh, nice. Lucas decided to be stupid and take FIU.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And then, of course, for those who don't know, our team that we decided to punish with our curse.
It's not Marist. They're playing Valparaiso.
No, they're not.
No, it's not. It's not
Ryan,
Valparaiso.
They're literally paying Valparaiso.
Ryan, please stop using Yahoo Sports. I literally, when I heard that, I was like, "What's up?"
I don't trust Yahoo for anything.
Literally, Presbyterian at Valparaiso.
Take Ryan. I literally looked this up on ESPN. Ryan, you are.
Who's the announcer with a speech impediment for Fox?
Oh, I
You mean Gus
lied.
Johnson?
Ryan was right. Ryan was actually right for once. Wow.
Okay, thank you.
Where'd you get Maris from? Oh my God!
I think they're playing Maris down. Oh, it's week 11. How did I get that? Okay.
Dude.
Wow.
Okay, you know what? Now we can trust Yahoo Sports.
No, we are never trusting Yahoo Sports. That was
Never
still a
trust
scam.
Yahoo for anything.
No, we are
Okay,
still not
whatever.
trusting
It doesn't
Yahoo.
matter.
But it's at Valparaiso. I will change it real quick.
Okay.
Oh,
We're gonna have
Jesus.
to have Lucas. We're gonna have to let Lucas know, and we'll have to change it. I'm taking Valparaiso mainly because of that famous game-winning shot in the March Madness back in the '90s, and also
Who
because
did they
ever
beat
since
with
we
that?
started rooting for ever since we started rooting for Presbyterian, they've lost every single game. So they will do that yet again because Presbyterian does not like to kick the ball does not like to punt it or kick field goals. So they lose 55-0 every single game.
I gotta say this once per show. It's like a 5-year-old playing Madden.
Ryan, it's like you playing Madden.
I'm actually good at Madden. Catch me on the stick.
Okay, and I guess I don't know. I will have to let Lucas know, but I'm sure he's probably going to take Valparaiso or maybe Presbyterian.
You know, it's another interesting group of names again. So Valparaiso is the Beacons.
They used to be the Crusaders. Fun fact.
I
They
do
were
remember
literally
they were the Crusaders.
They changed the name because people thought it was offensive. Don't know why.
Crusaders is offensive?
Yes, that's why they
Because of the
changed it to the Beacons.
Crusades.
Well, yeah, the Crusades, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's dumb, but whatever.
Okay. Ryan.
I'm going with Valpo. They're not the Beacons. They will forever always be the Crusaders. I know a bunch of family that went and played sports at Valparaiso. And the Crusaders are it's just like more of a threatening name than playing the Blue Hose. So yeah, go Valparaiso.
I don't know why I'm donut person says you think you have it bad. I'm a Lions fan. Don't worry, dude. We feel bad.
But you know what? Valparaiso also just blew out Dayton. So
I saw that.
Didn't Dayton play Presbyterian a few weeks ago too?
Yeah, and they blew out Presbyterian.
It was not a date. It was safe to say it was not a date for Presbyterian. It's not a nice date for Presbyterian.
Okay, Coster, you take him? Who are you taking?
Sorry, it's like I said a few weeks ago with the blue Y. We're not gonna go. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, if you know, you know. PG. Yeah, we're gonna keep it PG.
Morehead State.
Yeah, it's gonna be like what more. It's like when you said. When Lucas said, give me more valor. I don't know how.
Give me more beacons.
Give me more beaks.
Okay. I love how Presbyterian is the show's team, and yet we never pick them except.
I always pick them, and I'm
you
done.
Didn't pick them this week. You picked Valpo.
Yes, I did. Well, I'm taking Valpo. No, because they haven't worked out for me for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking Valpo.
Okay, and we will have Lucas figure out. We will let him know.
He's gonna take Valpo.
He'll probably take Valpo. And then we have to let him know about the Troy.
Oh, Jesus.
But thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Scott, for showing up and watching us while you made your thumbnails. Next week, we might have 2 very special guests on.
One was watching the show tonight.
One is watching the show. And then the other is a coach, a college.
Actually, 3.
Coach.
3.
Lucas is joining us again? Who's the other? Lucas is the guest. He'll join us.
No, we're actually having a Southern Miss football player join us next week.
Man, they're 1-7. Are you sure we want? I'm just kidding.
We're finally under 2 hours for once, and then next week's gonna be like 3 hours.
You know why?
We gotta make up for
because Lucas is in here.
Yeah, Lucas isn't here.
Ryan,
Ryan, if anything, it's your fault that we always go so long because you won't shut up.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan, literally, I'm going to have to start using this for it. All right, we're at hour 54 still with
hour 54, so we got to wrap this up in the next 6 minutes. But thank you, everybody, for watching. And we will be back here next Thursday, correct?
Go Braves. Yes, sir.
Next Thursday. That way Lucas can join us, and we will have 3 very special guests on. And hopefully we can keep that under 3 hours next week.
Hopefully.
Have a good night, guys. And
world champs.
Go.
Well, you gotta sign us off.
Play
sign us off.
play like the winners of the Japan League, and then what you can say that you're the world champs.
No, we are the world
No,
champs.
wait.
Those Japan teams are for peasants.
No. Here we go. This is for
We are
Andrew.
the champions, my friends.
Yep, that's exactly.
Stop. Turn it off before we get copyrighted.
Okay. Have a good night, guys. And
Good
we'll
night,
see you
everybody.
next Thursday on the Week 0 podcast.
I miss you, Vaughn. Come back.
He doesn't miss you, though.